This is an enterprise technology management podcast, the independent resource for IT executives.
Hello and welcome to today's podcast brought to you by Enterprise Management 360. My name is David Tran, the editor of VM360 and host of this podcast. Today we are discussing data center solutions and virtualization. Now, of course, when we look in the context of Agile IT, many IT organizations still operate the same way they did 20 years ago. With the way we look at data centers now, large IT infrastructure organisms held in warehouses in out-of-city locations, it is easy to see why this is the case. Gundars Kulups, representative for DEAC, with over 20 years experience in the IT industry, discusses flexibility and agility in implementing complex data center solutions and how innovative a powerful virtual platform can be. So, Gundars, welcome.
Hello, David. Thank you for having me here.
So, Gundars, the term agility means light, nimble, and being very responsive to change. So in terms of a cumbersome operation such as running a data center project, this is a perfect characteristic to have, right?
Well, I think that's what a lot of clients would expect from the data centers, but experience unfortunately shows it being rather different. The data center projects usually takes long time, they are hard to plan and hard to implement. And I think partially because of that, virtualization and cloud computing is a solution that clients are looking towards to get the projects up and running in a faster time, to get them more flexible. But still, the virtualization and cloud comes with their own challenges that clients need to be aware of.
So what best practices should be taken by companies to make their data center agile and flexible?
I think it starts with the people and with processes and operations in the organization, and just later it comes to the technologies. What I see, at least in the Western Europe, is that the data centers are growing very large and becoming rather monstrous. They don't do the operations just by themselves. They have contractors who do the cabling, for example, and the cabling can take 5 to 10 working days, and that's considered to be norm because of all the parties involved and unnecessary communication. So I think it's more about optimizing the processes and keeping the bureaucracy to the lowest possible level so that we can still sustain the growth of the company, but at the same time operate in a very swift mode and provide agile solutions to customers.
Interesting answer, Gundars. With IT companies flooding the market with software solutions, do you think a software-driven approach should be the preferred option, especially in reaction to the cloud?
Well, main aim of the virtualization and cloud computing is to move computing up a level abstraction from the hardware-based configurations to the software-based configurations. Virtualization without a cloud layer does that pretty much in a transparent way, and existing applications can be moved from the hardware layer to the virtualized layer without any changes in the applications. However, to benefit from the pure cloud solutions, one has to adopt the software stack that is provided by the cloud in order to get the gains from the cloud. And that is very important, especially for platform as a service offerings.
And do you think that will be the main choice in the short term?
I think so. However, there are different companies who will benefit from different cloud offerings. Personally, I believe that when we look at the platform as a service, it would offer the greatest benefits in the long term, but the problem is that it is hardest to adapt. The client has to change their systems in order to go to the platform as a service offering. So it is a way which is most useful for either the small startups who doesn't have an existing software environment to be adapted, they can create it scratch up, or for very large companies who has the capacity to implement or recreate their existing software applications. Software as a service, from the other hand, is very easy to adapt, but it is limited in the functionality because basically you get what is offered in the cloud, you cannot adapt it to your needs. So that is usually adapted for smaller companies. And then we have infrastructure as a service, which probably from the cloud perspective is offering the least benefits. However, it is the easiest to adapt for medium-sized enterprises. You simply take your existing software stack and move it into the cloud.
Swinging over from one IT infrastructure trend to another, we have virtualization. Now, cloud computing cannot work without virtualization. Hopefully you have your proverbial crystal ball, Gundars. So what is your vision for the virtualization market in general?
I believe that in general, the virtualization market will continue its growth in infrastructure as a service offerings for a long time still. When we talk about medium to long time perspective, more and more companies will adopt solutions like platform as a service, where the collaboration between different cloud platforms would become more and more popular. It will take years still.
And finally, Gundars, are new models of virtualization trends distorting the way we mean by the word virtualization today?
They're expanding it, not disturbing it, because virtual can mean anything, and we simply have to adapt to new approaches that are coming in. The data virtualization itself, I believe, is more a service that can be provided in a platform as a service offering in a cloud solution. However, more and more vendors are moving into the trend what we call software-defined everything. The pure virtualization that people today know or mostly speak about is the computing virtualization, the operating system, the computer. Now we are moving into the era where the network is virtualized, the storage is virtualized, the whole data centers are becoming virtualized. So it will offer us a better means of managing complex infrastructures from the software layer.
Thank you, Gundars. Now, if you wish to find out more on DEAC's projects in the data center, please go to enterprisemanagement360.com and visit their company profile for all of their latest resources, including videos, case studies, and white papers. May I just say many thanks to Gundars for all of his thoughts and views in the podcast today.
Thank you, David. It was really nice to speak to you again.